What's really good, everybody, and welcome to a new season of the weekly NBA breakdown right here on House of Highlights. It's your boy Deuce, one half of the Broadcast Boys, and we are back and better than ever in a brand new studio. Talk to me nice. The 2025 season is here, and it is time to go coast to coast. The Atlanta Hawks traded DeJounte Murray and did absolutely nothing else to their roster, so chances are they'll be pretty bad again. The Boston Celtics won the championship and naturally decided to run it back by extending Jason Tatum, Derek White, and Sam Hauser got a bag. But, ain't a soul worried about them, really. Brooklyn continues to be bad, sending Mikal Bridges to New York, re-signing Nico Claxton, and yet another comeback workout video from Ben Simmons. He's back this time, I promise. Down in Charlotte, Miles Bridges and Seth Curry were brought back on new deals, and with Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball being healthy, the Hornets are looking like a whopping 26 wins this year. I'm hyped. The Bulls lost DeRozan and Alex Caruso to the Western Conference, but re-signed Pat Williams and traded for Josh Giddey. Yet another painfully boring offseason for the Chicago Bulls. Salute, king of the fourth quarter. I feel your pain. Cleveland extended all their guys, bringing back Donnie, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley in order to capitalize on this potential window that they have in Cleveland, despite other teams continuing to be far, far better. The Dallas Mavericks, fresh off a finals appearance, lost Derrick Jones Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green, but made a splash in free agency when they brought in Klay Thompson from the Warriors. That's not bad for a team that just went to the finals, adding a 1, 2, 3, 4-time champion. The Denver Nuggets lost KCP in free agency, but re-signed Jamal Murray and brought in Russell Westbrook, believe it or not. I don't know, something about that feels like it's gonna work. I still believe in the Brody, though. The Detroit Pistons got youth and talent on their side, and with JB Bickerstaff at the helm and Cade Cunningham on a new contract, they could be a little bit better than they were last year. Not much, but a little. The Warriors waived CP3 and waved goodbye to Klay Thompson, bringing in Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Slow-Mo. I don't understand why they're not capitalizing and maximizing Steph Curry while they got him, but good luck in the Bay. The Houston Rockets re-signed Aaron Holiday. Moving on. The Indiana Pacers brought back everybody after a suspect run to the Eastern Conference Finals, locking in TJ McConnell, Pascal Siakam, Obi Toppin, and Andrew Nembhard, who hit a shot that broke my damn heart. But let's not go there, not yet. The Clippers continue to strive and fail for that number one spot in LA. They lost Paul George. Kawhi is without a timetable. James Harden is aging by the day. I don't see much good happening from the Clippers. They ain't doing nothing. The Lake Show ain't changed too much except for LeBron locking himself in for another 2 years and a very special second-round pick who's looking to come in and make some noise, even though he likely won't. The Memphis Grizzlies quietly added Zach Edey, who I think has a real good chance of being Rookie of the Year, and with Ja Morant coming back, they will certainly be making some noise in the West. Miami extended Bam for another 3 years, but otherwise still clinging to those finals runs from a few years ago because yet another year goes by and they are simply not better. Milwaukee lost Pat Bev and brought in Gary Trent Jr., an absolute snooze fest in Cream City, but they have Giannis, so anything is possible. The T-Wolves were a Western Conference Finals team and had the best season that they've had in years. So what do? Of course they blow it up. They send Karl-Anthony Towns to the Knicks and they bring in Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. I mean, they got two absolute dogs, don't get me wrong, but chemistry is a real thing, and if they think that in year one they're gonna be able to get back to the promised land, I don't know about that. The Pelicans traded for DeJounte Murray, giving them a starting lineup that includes CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram. If these brothers was healthy, that's a top 3 seed in the West, if you ask me. But that's a real big if. The New York Knicks roster went through the ringer this offseason. Losing I Heart Dante and Juju, my heart is broken, and I don't know if it'll ever be repaired. But at the end of the day, we got JB for the low, we re-signed OG, and we brought in Karl-Anthony Towns. So the New York Knicks are gonna be special. It's gonna take some time. My wounds will heal, I hope. The number one team in the West, OKC, only got better, adding Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein to their squad. Yes, they are young and inexperienced, but so were the Baby Warriors back in the day, so do not sleep on OKC. The Orlando Magic surprised a lot of people last year and brought everybody back so they could run it back. And with Paolo being a year better, I don't know, man. Watch out for those brothers in Disney World. The 76ers made a bunch of moves, but most notably, they extended Tyrese and JoJo and brought in Paul George on a 4-year deal. Along with adding Eric Gordon to the roster, this may be the most fragile team in NBA history. The Phoenix Suns needed depth and a point guard this offseason and addressed both by bringing in Tyus Jones, who's looking to be a steadying force for a very, very explosive offense. They got 3 bona fide all-stars out there, straight buckets. They're going to make some noise. The Portland Trailblazers. Who cares? Respectfully, of course. Sacktown made a quiet but effective move, bringing in DeMar DeRozan to fill in that hole on the wing when Harrison Barnes left for the Spurs. With Foxy and Sabonis out there, anything's possible. In San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama is already one of the best players in the league. And then you add the point guard CP3 in there just to make things easier for him. And let's not forget that Greg Popovich is still one of the greatest coaches in league history. The Spurs are in a really good spot. Toronto solidified their future by giving 5 years to both Quick and Scotty. And the North should be throwing a parade. It just won't be a championship parade, unfortunately. The Utah Jazz gave Lauri Markkanen a 5-year bag, but otherwise, who cares? The Wizards added Valanciunas, Saddiq Bey, and Malcolm Brogdon to the pool party, which may make them the third worst team in the league instead of the second. I'm excited for them. Some teams got better, some teams got worse. We'll see how it plays out during the regular season. And now that the 2024-25 NBA season is upon us, I'm gonna do a little tier ranking of teams that I think are contenders, pretenders, and just cellar dwellers, or lottery teams. This is my way too early rankings of where these teams are gonna end up. Let's start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just re-signed Donovan Mitchell, they got Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, they got some other pieces, and they had a really good year last year. They don't have that dog on that team in order to really get them over the edge. 4 or 5 seed or whatever, probably a first round loss. If they're lucky, they'll make it to the second round and lose. The Atlanta Hawks, they have Trae Young, they have some good young talent, but they just lost DeJounte Murray and seemingly didn't replace him with anything. So how could they realistically be better than they were last year? They're gonna be in the lottery this year. The Boston Celtics. Now I could sit here and glaze the Boston Celtics all day about how good they are and how they won a championship and blah, 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 blah. But I'm not gonna do it. They're contenders, you know it, I know it. They might repeat, but not if I have anything to say about it. The Brooklyn Nets, I think that they are very much in the running for Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey, and that's probably the route that they're gonna go. Lottery. The Chicago Bulls, they did lose DeRozan, they did lose Alex Caruso. And as much as I love Lonzo and wanna see him be great, I don't think him for half their games and Zach LaVine is gonna be enough to get them into the playoffs. Maybe the play-in, but I'm throwing them in the lottery. The Golden State Warriors. Now, the Golden State Warriors have to always be in the conversation because they have Steph Curry, right? I don't know. He's still very effective, and they're not trying to maximize him. They're not trying to put pieces around him. They're afraid to trade some of their young guys. I just don't know if he's gonna be able to carry them into the playoffs. But I think that they will make the play-in, but they're definitely pretenders. They're low-end pretenders, too. The Houston Rockets, of all of the young teams in the league, they might have the most talent across the board. I think they have like 6 or 7 guys that were borderline lottery picks, if not in the lottery. I think that if they could put it together, they could be a pest. And they could be a nuisance to some of the other teams in the West, but I'm throwing them in the lottery as well. But they're a high lottery team because they might make a play-in spot. The Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, Bronny James is just gonna take them over the top. No, let me be serious. I do think that because you have LeBron, who's motivated, you have Anthony Davis, who seemingly is finding his way into staying healthy a little bit, I think that they can make something happen. They're a low-level contender, because I'm not going to disrespect the king, at least not today. The Memphis Grizzlies. Now, this is a really interesting one to me because Ja Morant was hurt most of last season, missed most of the season before that, and when he was there and when they had a full roster, they were a top 3 seed in the West. I'm going to put them as a high-level pretender because they're going to muck it up, they're going to make some noise, but I don't think that they're really going for a championship, not yet. The Miami Heat. Now, I hate to say a bad thing about Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and them boys, but they just extended Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler is in his contract year, so yeah, he's got some stuff to prove. But year after year, they make these runs to the finals and they don't do anything to get better. They got Terry Rozier last year, which is a lateral move at best. And now Terry and Tyler are over here talking about they're the best backcourt in the NBA or one of. Please miss me with the bullshit. I don't want to hear that kind of nonsense. I respect confidence, but I laugh at delusion, and I'm laughing at you. Miami Heat, pretenders, low-level pretenders. Portland Trailblazers, once again, who cares? Lottery. The Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox really coming into his own. Sabonis is an absolute machine. He goes out there, he puts up pretty much the same numbers every single night. They just added DeRozan, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray. They're going to be tough. They're really going to be tough. And I'm going to put them as a high-level pretender. And I might even put them in the contender category by the end of this list, but we'll see. We'll see right now. Los Angeles Clippers. Now this was a sad one. Clipper fans out there, all 5 of you, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but Kawhi Leonard being hurt and not coming back, no timetable for return, losing Paul George for nothing after he came home to LA and promised all these big things. Now he's going to Philly. I'm not going to disrespect all the way and go lottery, but I'm going to go low-level pretender on the off chance Kawhi comes back healthy and him and James Harden could do something. The New Orleans Pelicans, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Herb Jones. There's a lot of talent down there, and I want to see them do good, but it's just a matter of them staying healthy. To think that all four of them will be able to stay on the court together enough to be able to compete for a championship or even make the playoffs is tough. Pretender. Sorry, New Orleans. I love your city. The Utah Jazz. Shout out to them for signing Lauri Markkanen. That is a very big move for them. Lottery. Sorry. Right around here, though. They're probably, they're a little better than the Bulls. They're right up there with the Rockets. The Toronto Raptors. I wish them nothing but the best. I think that they are the definition of mid, though. They might make the playoffs, but they'll probably just be in the play-in. So they're in a terrible spot where they're like not going to get a good lottery pick and they're not going to be competing for a championship. So like, what are we doing? But whatever. Pretender, low level, actually high level lottery. Being too nice over here. San Antonio Spurs. This one's gonna be controversial. Low to mid level pretender, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Victor Wembanyama is a talent that we've never seen in this league. We've seen bits and pieces of his game in different players, different all-time greats, but now it's all in one big-ass French dude, and it's unbelievable to watch. And the fact that Greg Popovich is his coach, there's a bunch of solid young role guys out there, and then you get a 40-year-old Chris Paul who just needs to mosey his way down the court and throw lob passes. I believe in the San Antonio Spurs. Do I think they're going to win it all? Absolutely not. But do I think they're going to be a lot better than what people think? Definitely. The Philadelphia 76ers, one of the teams I love to hate on. If they stay healthy, they have one hell of a roster. But I'm going to put them in the contender category, low level. I think that there are other teams that have way better of a shot. But when you have a former MVP, and when you have a two-way guy like Paul George, and a young guy like Tyrese Maxey, who we saw the damage he could do in the playoffs last year, really, really special. I got to give them their contending status because they've earned it. Oh, the New York Knicks. We are going to be lethal. The Knicks most certainly are high-level contenders as long as they can put it together. I'm putting them above the Sixers and Lakers, right up there with the Celtics. The Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic. Whenever you got Niko Jokic, your three-time MVP, the horse whisperer, he's a special, special talent. He's really unbelievable. And their team hasn't changed too much. Losing KCP does hurt. He was a solid 3-and-D guy that you can rely on, and losing him hurts. But you brought in a very dynamic piece in Russell Westbrook, who's going to be able to take over that second unit and more or less do the same sort of things that Nikola Jokic is able to do with the starting unit. Divvy up the ball, rebound, get out on the break, make the right passes. I believe in the Brody. I got them as contenders. Right behind the, you know what, I'll put them ahead of the Knicks because considering that they actually won one already, right? Let me not be too biased. The Charlotte Hornets. Come on, son. Lottery. Orlando Magic. Damn, I really like the Magic. Not contenders, though. High-level pretender, right behind the Kings, I would say. The OKC Thunder. Contender. Up there with the Lakers and the 76ers, in between the Knicks. All right, Milwaukee Bucks. Like I said, Giannis Antetokounmpo will always have you in the conversation. But what I don't like about the Milwaukee Bucks is the news reports saying that Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they couldn't make time to work out together at all in the offseason. It doesn't show me that you're serious about winning. And I mean, I doubt you're trying to impress me, but it does say something about your work ethic, fellas. Guys, get in the gym. Make sure you're better than last year. Huge disappointment, but like I said, with Giannis, you're always a contender. The Phoenix Suns. Oof. I'm going to start having to bring people down from the contenders list. And I think that they're going to be better than last year and probably able to contend. I'm never going to bet against Kevin Durant. I'm throwing him up there above the Lakers and the Sixers. I might have to drop, I think I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, Laker fans. I'm dropping the Lakers down to pretenders. I'm sorry. I hate to do it. The Indiana Pacers. Ew. I would put them right up here with the Kings and the Magic. Yeah, put them there. Put the Lakers. Yeah, I'll put the Lakers there. I'm not going to disrespect The Washington Wizards. Pool party. The party's canceled. You're in the lottery. I have nothing else to say about you bozos. Detroit Pistons. Listen, JB Bickerstaff, I like what you're doing. You're getting them to mature a little bit. You got a lot of talent on that roster. You make them go into practice. You make them care about the work. You make them care about the effort. And maybe you guys can win some games. Still competing for Cooper Flag. Down here, with the Hornets and Wizards. The Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves coming off a Western Conference Finals berth. Do they have the talent? Certainly. But will they be able to have the same chemistry that Cat and Ant did last year? Remains to be seen. I'm going to put them as the highest level pretender there. And finally, the Dallas Mavericks. They got better by adding Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson, in a lesser role, probably lesser minutes, with less asked of him, will be able to really lock in and be that stretch guy, that 3-and-D guy that they need. It's a great piece to get them over the hump. They have real solid bigs. They just really need to solidify their wing play. And when you got Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving at the helm, I mean, you're contending. I'm throwing them up there. They're up there with the Thunder. Boom. All right, so that's my list. My contenders, the Celtics, the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Mavs, the Bucks, the Suns, and the Sixers-ish. Pretenders, T-Wolves, Kings, Lakers, Pacers, Magic, Grizzlies, Cavs, Warriors, Heat, Clippers, Spurs, Pelicans. All very solid teams, all top-notch rosters. Don't think they have what it takes to get past those other guys. And then the lottery teams that are going to be going for Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey, the Raptors, the Rockets, the Jazz, the Bulls, the Hawks, the Nets, the Trailblazers, the Pistons, Hornets, and the Wizards. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my list, and let me know who you got winning the 2025 NBA Finals. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Weekly NBA Breakdown. It is a brand new season. I will be here all year long, so make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week. All love, top to bottom. You already know what it is. Peace!